In recent months, Main Street has welcomed international brands, including the Spanish sandwich chain Rodilla. Plans published recently show coffee giant Starbucks is preparing to launch 2 branches, and empanada chain Las Mons may soon be found in Gibraltar too, according to recent proposals made to town planning. And world-famous Häagen-Dazs is now scooping out its ice cream in Casemate Square.
Häagen-Dazs is an international brand. It's known by most people globally from the markets that visit Gibraltar. There was a gap in the market. There wasn't a bigger ice cream shop at this end of town. It took a lot of research and a long time to get the brand here, but we thought it would work in Gibraltar, and since it's opened, it's done really well. We're really happy with it.
When we brought Oakberry Acai to Gibraltar, there was a massive gap in the market for healthy fast food. And we've seen with the amount of regular local customers that we have that people really needed this. And now we have people who come every day and they have this as their lunch, as their dinner, because there are gaps in the market. So bringing franchises to Gib does enable local entrepreneurs to fill in these gaps.
But how easy is it to bring a franchise to Gibraltar?
There's a number of challenges, whether it's a franchise or not, to be honest, in setting up a business in Gibraltar. It's a unique place. Lots of the franchisors think it's in the EU, lots of them think it's in the UK. Obviously there's a hard border there at the moment, which means specific equipment that you maybe perhaps have to have for the franchise has to cross a hard border and customs process. Space is a premium in Gibraltar, so a lot of these brands are looking for big spaces, and in Gibraltar rents are very high per square metre, so it's a challenge to open.
Can franchises exist in harmony with local businesses? What do they bring to the Rock?
A lot of people like to come to brands that they know, but also somebody's coming to Gibraltar on holiday or as a tourist, they might want to experience more of a local kind of independent character or culture. Of course, there is going to be competition between the brands. There are local ice cream shops, local coffee shops, but there's a lot of people who come to Gibraltar, and I think there's enough business to go around for everybody.
Franchises offer a lot of professionalism. With Oakberry, for example, when we opened it, they come with very stringent procedures with regards to cleanliness, food quality, and they offer variety and a way of eating, a way of ordering food that doesn't really exist in Gib at the moment. For example, self-ordering kiosks. So there are definitely benefits, and I think with the treaty coming, we're going to see an uptick in franchises.
We've had the uncertainty of the treaty for the last several years. Main Street at the moment's been, I think, in a really difficult position. There's been perhaps a bit more uncertainty in the general retail side of Main Street because the fear was always that there would be Spanish level VAT or IVA on goods, which would be 21%.
This is a key issue on the mind of local businesses. This is one thing that's also causing the change in the local landscape. Some items that were previously 0 to 3% import duty, like jewellery, are now going to become 15 to 17% import duty. And this is one of the many factors, alongside increased tourism, that are triggering the changes that we're seeing on Main Street.
So, what will Main Street look like in the future?
I think every high street's seeing an evolution from retail to leisure, experience and services. And whilst you can't compare Gibraltar to the UK, if you look at a lot of the UK high streets now, there's less clothing, less general retail, more cafes, more restaurants, nail bars, hairdressers and kind of services business. And I think that's probably the way Gibraltar will evolve as well.
So I would see a mixture of both retail and food and beverage, and a much more immersive experience for the local shopper or the tourist, because they'll be able to go shopping and then they'll be able to grab a quick bite of something that they haven't been able to get previously. So I think in general the changes we see will be quite positive. But I think a lot of the charm of Main Street isn't necessarily the shops, but it's the actual environment and the atmosphere. So the buildings that you walk by, during National Day when you have all the flags out, it's the ambience more than the shops itself.
The future may be uncertain, but one thing is clear. The blend of old and new is paving a different path for Gibraltar's Main Street.